Hello Gemini and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements looking at your connection between you and the person that you are dealing with and are needing to learn the most from right now. We'll be pulling for all three sides of the connection, so we'll look at your energy toward it, their energy toward it, and the energy in between it, the concept being that there are three sides to every story. So we'll be looking at your version of the truth, their version of the truth, and this higher level unbiased truth in the middle. This middle section is looking at what is the deeper purpose of the connection and the best way for you to move forward in order to align further with your higher self. Friendly reminder that these are general readings and they are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So do please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and to leave what does not. On that note, and especially if you're a cross-watcher, just know that this whole reading can be reversed if that is the case for you. That is totally fine and totally normal. Again, the point is to take what helps and leave what doesn't. Last thing is that any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading or coaching session with me is in the description box below. All right, Gemini. Let's see what we've got here for you. Starting with overall energy, let's look at your energy toward the person you are dealing with and are needing to learn the most from right now. Gemini's energy toward the person they are dealing with. Passion. You have a lot of, you feel as if you and this person have a lot of chemistry, and then you have boundaries here. And I feel like because, it feels like there's a really intense pull and draw that you do have toward this person. And I feel like because of that, it's, I don't want to say hard for you to set boundaries, but maybe like harder than usual because of how intense the connection feels and how much you really do want it to work. But I do feel that, like I said, there is a lot of chemistry here, and I feel like that's on both sides. I know obviously we haven't looked at this side, but I do feel like it is reciprocated. Let's look at this person's energy toward you. Person's energy toward you, please. Mirroring. So, yeah. Okay, with the mirroring in this connection, I feel like you guys bring out a lot of like really good things in each other. Like there are times where the connection reaches a lot of really high highs, but then I feel like at the same time, the intensity kind of goes the other way too. Maybe not want to necessarily say you bring out the bad in each other, but I do feel like there might be triggering of insecurities and traumas and, you know, some deeper things that are being brought to the surface through this connection. With this dead end card, I feel like this person, it feels as if they have, because then they have this drama card. It feels as if, I'm trying to figure out the best way to say this. They have a limited capacity when it comes to giving and receiving love. And usually that means that they're closed off for some sort of reason. Maybe things from their past, maybe things that they've been through. And I feel like that causes them, like with this drama card, I feel like they have a tendency to wear a mask. But I feel like you can see through that, like you see who they really are and you love them for who they really are and you care about them for who they really are. But I feel like this person, it's almost like who they really are and who they're capable of being and then who they show up as. It's like there's a gap there. And I feel like that's where it's been kind of difficult for you, is because I feel like they have a lot of potential that you do desire, but what they're showing up as is something that doesn't really align with what you ultimately desire and deserve. So yeah, I feel like that makes things really complicated. And again, because there is such a strong connection here, I feel like it makes it hard for you to set boundaries or to maybe speak up like you usually would. I don't know. It's almost like this person is a little bit like your kryptonite. I'm not saying that in a negative way, but almost as if like your weakness. Like I don't know the best way. I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's almost as if it were anybody else, it'd be easy for you to set boundaries. Like it'd be easy for you to do certain things, and maybe you've done those things in the past, but this connection is stronger maybe than anything you've ever really experienced, which makes it a little bit more complicated for you. All right, truth of this connection between Gemini and this person. Confusion. And I kind of got that, like, this person has a tendency maybe to send mixed signals, or you're just kind of confused as to why they're, showing up as this person and not this person, right? And we talked about that gap between who they're showing up as and who they have the potential to be. People don't show up in their potential for a lot of different reasons, and I think mainly the number one reason is typically unhealed wounding. And I think that especially in relationships, like any relationship is going to trigger that wounding. And if you haven't, done the work and you don't have the awareness of these things, then you're going to allow those traumas and those triggers to affect the way that you show up, right? So maybe you'll be wishy-washy, or you won't fully commit, or you won't open yourself up and be vulnerable, whatever it is. It does not allow the connection to fully develop to the extent, like the extent of the potential. So confusion with know your worth. And again, I think that it's hard here because I feel like who this person could potentially be really does align with what you desire and like what you deserve. But who they show up as, maybe majority of the time or sometimes, I feel like has you really confused because you're like, I don't know. Who are you? Like, I know the potential. I see who you really are. But sometimes you do and say things like, I don't recognize this person, or I don't know. I feel like this person is very complicated. But let's dive into this. I know I keep saying I don't know. This is just overall energy, so we'll dive deeper into the story as we progress. But overall theme of this connection between Gemini and this person. Yeah. I am their light with unlocked potentials, and there will be a return. So this connection could currently be in some form of separation. It doesn't necessarily mean that you guys are like full blown in separation, but I do feel like there's distance between these energies, and I feel like that's where a lot of the confusion stems from. Here's what's really hard is I do feel that you have so much love to give this person, and again, you do see that potential, and I feel like you do want to do what you can to bring that out in them, to love them into loving themselves, whatever the case might be. But I feel like what I kind of get from this, especially with this Know Your Worth card, is that Spirit has a little bit of like a warning about something when it comes to this connection and this person and how to proceed here, and just to make sure that you are, protecting yourself and protecting your worth, and making sure that you are loving yourself just as much as you're loving this person, because it's important to know that like you are not here to save, fix, or heal anybody. And I know that there's kind of this idea with the twin flame concept. It's like, oh no, I'm here to heal them. And that's not the case at all. Twin flame connections are for your healing, for each individual's healing, but sometimes we get really caught up in trying to help somebody else that we abandon our own needs in the process. And if that starts to happen, then we lose ourselves in the pursuit of trying to help somebody else. And it ends up, essentially making things more difficult for us on our own healing journey. But with that being said, let's dive into this here. Gemini, you have boundaries with passion. Gemini side of this connection to the person they are dealing with. Yeah. Because I feel like this person, so Two of Pentacles in reverse, I feel like a lot of your priority in this connection has really been this person and trying to help them, like I said, heal, evolve, step into that full potential. But I feel like in the process of that, you've been feeling really unprioritized, I feel like is a good way to simplify that. The Chariot in reverse also kind of represents some sort of a dead end here. I feel like you've spent a lot of time waiting for things to change in this connection, waiting for this person to change and being very frustrated whenever things don't evolve. And that makes a lot of sense. I think that because then you have the Nine of Cups, I think that it's like even when you feel that you're getting closer to that Nine of Cups, eventually there's a tower, and I saw the tower on the bottom, but eventually like things go back to the beginning and it feels like you're starting over, and then you feel like you're making progress, and then something happens and you feel like you're starting from scratch again. And I think that that has kept you on this like merry-go-round when it comes to this connection and trying to make this work. And it's put you in an unfair position of your ability to be loved and your ability to have what you deserve and need being 100% dependent on this person and whether or not they heal. Regardless of whether you're dealing with a twin flame, a soulmate, no matter what, your ability to be loved does not lie in the hands of one single person. Meaning that if one person in this world, you know, whether you believe they're a twin flame or not, if that person opts to not, right, we all have free will, to not do the healing, to not grow, to not evolve, to not step into the version of themselves that's capable of healthily giving and receiving love, that does not deter you from your ability to receive the love that aligns with your highest good. And I think that a lot of times we tend to, especially with this twin flame concept, a lot of people have a tendency to really attach this idea that if it's not them, like it's not going to be anybody else. So then what happens is we abandon ourselves. And I've done this too. I've been on the twin flame journey myself. We abandon ourselves to try to get somebody to be what we need them to be. And in the end of it, we continue to be left without the love that we deserve, without the treatment that we deserve, without all of the wonderful things that we have to give. And sometimes the priority becomes the connection and not ourselves. But ourself has to be the priority because our relationships with other people, again, whether they're a twin flame or not, is a direct reflection of our relationship with ourselves. And if we are not being prioritized or chosen or loved or valued in the way that we deserve, it is typically a reflection of something that needs to be healed within us. I know that a lot of people on this journey like to look at the person that they're dealing with and say, no, they have to heal and they have to evolve and they have to do all of these things and they run from love. But there is always a mirror showing us some way in which we need to heal so that we can have the love that we deserve and desire too, whether it lies in the person that we're dealing with or not. And as things stand right now, Gemini, I feel like you're very stuck. You're stuck in this cycle with this person of trying to be everything that you feel you need to be for them. But at the end of the day, what Spirit's really asking you to do and the perspective that I feel like you're being asked to take is how can you show up for you? How can you make sure that your needs are being taken care of, that you're being prioritized, that you're being chosen, even if this person isn't doing those things? Because the way that this is impacting you, I feel like it's become very heavy. It feels like you're, you keep putting work into this and it feels like you keep, I'm their light and I can help them heal and I can help them grow and I can help them love themselves. But every time that doesn't change, because we cannot change, fix, heal, save anybody else in this world. We are not here to heal anybody else. We are not here to change anybody else but ourselves. And the more that we try, the more that we start to feel worthless because we go, why am I not enough? Why, no matter how much I pour into you, no matter how much I try to help you, it's not enough. So why am I not good enough? Why am I not lovable? When in reality, other people choosing not to do something or to do something, other people's behavior is a reflection of the feelings about themselves, not about you. So I feel like there's a need to kind of take a step back and look at this from a different perspective because again, I feel this cycle of trying to make this work and ending up in the exact same place and Six of Swords in reverse, feeling very stuck, but then doing it all over again. And this cycle is actually keeping you from the love that you are desiring. So with that being said, that was a lot to break down on your side here. But with that being said, let's see what this person has for you, Gemini, what this person's energy is toward this connection. Dead end with mirroring this person's energy toward you. Page of Wands in reverse. It's like if you guys are a team. Oh my goodness, Page of Swords in reverse. It's like you're carrying the team of this relationship on your back, trying to do what you can to be what this person, needs to make this connection work, to bring it to fruition. And I think that it's become very unfair to you in a lot of ways. Death with the Ten of Cups. And this is the most interesting thing, right? Is this person, they do see the potential that exists in this connection. And that maybe is why things are so frustrating for you, is maybe you know that and maybe you understand that. But it's still not, they're still not evolving in this. So Four of Swords, Knight of Swords, okay. Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Desire doesn't equal capacity. That's what I just heard. And that's one of the truest things about relationships, is a lot of times we think that we're looking for somebody who loves us and wants to be with us and wants to, have a relationship with us. But we're not just looking for somebody who loves us. We're looking for somebody who is capable of loving us well. So a lot of times what happens is we take somebody's desire toward us and we think that that means that they're going to be able to show up for that desire. But an individual's ability to show up for the love that they deserve is 100% dependent on their level of healing, right? Their level of growth, their capacity to give and receive love in a healthy way. And it takes a lot of work to get to that point. And I feel like what this person really carries is, the energy that they carry is making the same mistake over and over again and expecting a different result in their relationships. With the Page of Wands in reverse, I feel like they do have a lot of unaddressed inner child wounding here. So, people love the way that they have been loved. And whenever the way that they love is inconsistent or wishy-washy or, there's a lack of vulnerability there, typically that means that that's how they've been taught to love. That's what they've been taught is love is. And so it's hard because when we meet those people, we see that, all that they are, and we want to love them and we want to be there for them, but then they can't return that. And we start to go, oh, well, it's because of these things, right? We have empathy for them. We have empathy for their situation. We have empathy for what they've been through. And when that happens, we start to run the risk of toxic empathy, which is where we empathize so strongly with somebody else and what they're going through that we essentially abandon all empathy toward ourselves. So we don't care anymore about our needs, our desires, and our feelings, and our priority becomes the other person's needs, desires, and feelings, meaning that we prioritize their needs, desires, and feelings and harm our own. And in this connection, or in this person's energy, actually, when it comes to this connection, especially with the Death card here, I feel like they are, there is a deep transformation that this person would need to go through before they would be capable of showing up for this. And I feel like you know that. I do. I feel like you know that who this person is right now, right? We talked about that gap. This isn't what you deserve or what you need, but you're holding out for this person. The one thing that I've really learned is that nobody, very few people actually choose to grow. A lot of people just get older and they make the same mistakes in relationships, right? They are, they're not vulnerable or they're wishy-washy or they push away love. Like in this with the Knight of Swords, I feel like this person has a tendency to run from it. So run from depth, run from vulnerability, run from dealing with things, even though they see it as the Ten of Cups, they run from it, right? And that's a karmic cycle of their own. It's something that they are actively choosing to do. And that is an unhealed, it's a protective pattern. To them, keeping a distance from the love that they desire is actually what feels the most safe, even if it isn't aligned with what they do truly desire. And I talked in the beginning about mirroring, right? So I feel like when this person does that, when they run from love because they feel, afraid of having it or not good enough for it or whatever the case is, it brings up feelings for you of feeling not good enough for it. And then it's just this back and forth kind of mess that I feel like starts to be created here. So I think that Spirit is asking you to look at this from a different perspective because yes, this person has a long way to go. They do have a lot of healing to do, but other people in our relationships with other people are always a mirror of us. And in some way, whenever we are, pointing at another person and we're saying they need to heal these things or they need to do these things differently, There's always something that we're needing to address, and we're needing to do differently. And if we constantly look at how other people need to heal, but don't flip the mirror and look at how it's a reflection of how we need to heal, we're going to spend our life trying to save, fix, and heal ourselves through other people. So we're constantly going to attract people that aren't capable of loving us well and trying to do everything that we can in our power to make them into the person that can love us well. But again, since it is not possible to save, fix, or heal another person, we're going to constantly feel unlovable and not good enough. And this is a very common cycle, but it's one that has to be broken in order to receive the love that we deserve. This person has a cycle that they're going to need to break, right? A cycle of running, a cycle of allowing their traumas and their triggers to make decisions for them. That's their business. That is their journey. So at the same time, whenever we are looking for or chasing love and people who run from it, if the person that we're dealing with needs to heal the reasons that they run from love, we have to address the reasons that we chase love, especially when we chase it in people who run, because there is always some sort of wounded pattern there that keeps us in that cycle. And I feel like that's what Spirit is trying to get you to address, is trying to get you to address the deeper cycle at play and your role on your side and what needs to be healed for you, so that, again, you can have the love that you deserve and desire. So this isn't saying, and I think that that's the thing that I hate about the twin flame concept the most, is this idea that I can only have the love that I deserve if they heal. I can only, experience the things that I want in this life if this person does something. It gives all of your power away. And I get it. I've been there. I've been in a connection that I thought was my twin flame, to the extent where I was like, if it is not this person and I do not end up with this person, I'm never going to be happy. And if this person comes back, I'm going to choose them 100 times over. And now, being in the marriage that I am with, definitely not that person, I have a kind of love that I truly didn't think was possible. And looking back at that connection makes me go, I can't believe that I thought I wanted that when this was possible all along. But I had to heal a lot of the reasons why I chased love in people who didn't know or couldn't love me well, right? We talked about how this person has a limited capacity to love. They are not capable of showing up for the love that you deserve. They might have it, they might feel it, they might see it, but they don't have the ability to show up for it. I always say it's like a person who wants to run a marathon but doesn't do any training, right? Doesn't run, doesn't work out, doesn't work on themselves. Like the day of the marathon, they're gonna fail because they're not gonna be able, they're not prepared for it. Their body's not prepared for it. Their mind isn't prepared for it. And, when somebody can want to love you all day long, somebody can have the intention of wanting to love you all day long, but if they're not doing the work and actively addressing the reasons that they run from love, they're not going to be able to show up for you. No matter how valuable they see you as, no matter how lovable they see you as, nothing is going to make them change except for their realization that they need to change. And the more that we try to get people to change, to love us, the more we give that power away. And taking that power back, even if you are truly on a twin flame journey, which is actually so very rare, but even if you are on one, the goal of that connection is absolutely not union of the connection. It's union of self, because once you find that love of yourself where you no longer chase love and you no longer run from it, then you find it. You find it in yourself, and you find it easily in another person without having to chase it. So the love that you desire is still very, very, very possible, but there's a need to take a step back from trying to make it happen in this connection. And I'm not saying that it's impossible, but what I am saying is that the more that you try to make it happen in this person and in this connection, the more that you are going to continue to lack it, because you're missing what is needing to be addressed, which is the mirror. Right? If this person's running from love because of XYZ, it's not why are they doing that and they need to do this. It's why am I chasing love? Why am I looking for love in somebody who doesn't choose me, who doesn't love me the way that I deserve, who doesn't show up for my value? Because that's where the answers lie. That's where the real healing starts to take place. And I say this from experience. So, we're going to hop on over to the extended. You have Know Your Worth with Confusion. I'm going to dive deeper into this, looking at the deeper purpose of this connection and the best way for you to move forward in alignment with your higher self. Any information for that is in the description box below. Thank you so much, Gemini, as always, for your support of my channel. I do obviously hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, I wish you nothing but love and healing and all of the wonderful things that you deserve and desire on your journey moving forward. Bye, Gemini.